I found this to be true over the years. There's something within some people that just urges them to want to achieve more. And I've been trying to wrestle with the idea of trying to figure out, is this something that we can teach? Is this something that we could inspire others to find within themselves? And I think it is obtainable. I think it just takes hard work and discipline and a willingness to change. I believe a lot of people aren't willing to make that change because they don't want to feel uncomfortable. They don't want to change their lives. They don't want to make other people feel inferior because they're progressing forward where a lot of their friends are staying the exact same. I see this as a place of growth. I see this as a place of change and commitment. I don't think a lot of people are willing to make that decision within their own head if they weren't originally built with it. I found out over the years that I have something within myself, and I believe it's hard work. I think it's motivation. I think it's a willingness to succeed and do my best at anything that I set my mind to. I don't think everybody has that. A lot of people, they go to their jobs, they do the work, and then they clock in late or they leave early, and there is no room for growth at all in the company that they're working for. From my own personal experience, I have found that the best way to succeed in any endeavor that you do is by just doing just a little bit more than everybody else is doing at the company. It doesn't have to be much. It doesn't have to be life-changing. It just needs to It just needs to be something that makes you stand out amongst the crowd of employees that are already there, because most people, they do the bare minimum. I feel like those things that urge us on within the inside to want to do better can be cultivated if we just put in the time, the effort, and the thought to be able to be like, what is this person at the company doing that is at the upper echelon of the corporate ladder? What can I do in turn to duplicate their same results? That's what's always been within inside me that's urging me to move forward, and being able to have that drive for success, for excellence within ourselves is mind-boggling. I feel like the success within me is a little bit different from everybody else, because from what I've done from my age of elementary school, middle school, high school, and college, was I wanted to do the least amount of work but get the highest amount of return. And that's what I have done over the years is like, okay, how can I do the least amount of work but get the most amount of return from it? So it was like when I was in school, I would always do my homework in class because it's like my brain would be able to associate what the teacher was saying with the knowledge that I was learning, and whatever I was learning was technically going to be taught and or on the test/homework that I was doing in class. So I never really needed to go home and study and do my homework, and my parents were always like, don't you have homework? And it's like, no. They're like, what do you mean? It's like, I did it already at school. They're like, well, it's for home. It's like, yeah, but it was easier for me just to do it in class. I found out over the years, it's like, if you can do things that are easier for you, do them your way. And I've noticed that everybody else has a different way of doing things, so what's working for me might not necessarily work for you. It's just you need to find something that urges you on. Find something that encourages you to do better. Find something that sets that light in you on fire so that it's like, hey, you know what? I can do this. I can achieve my goals. I can reach after what I want. And having a direction is probably the most important part of this. So it's like Tomura, he's being urged on to go capture One for All, because One for All has a power that all of us want and all of us need to obtain in our life, because we should be able to just give everything to everybody else. We don't need to have something that's all for one, because when everybody has something, it's like, well, what's the point? Like, you're just doing it for yourself for selfish reasons. I found it a lot better to be able to give to other people, to help other people succeed, to encourage other people in their endeavors, because it might set off a light in their head of like, okay, I need to either 1, change my life, 2, reflect on what he's saying, or 3, stay around him, because whatever views he has is views that I would like to have as well. So I'm going to kind of learn from his experiences, learn from him, and witness what he's doing. It's what I've done over the years. Whenever I find somebody that's successful in the gym, it's like, okay, what are they doing here that I can take and run with because I'm finding success in it, or they have found success in their lifting career prior? Or it's like, when I join a new company, it's like, okay, who's the best person here? Who is the one that is doing the most amount of work? Let me see if there's a way for me to, 1, listen to their phone calls if I'm in sales, which if you're in sales, you should be able to listen to their phone calls. See what's making the successful. Rerun the scenario in your own head and reflect on what they did and what you could do better, or what you think they did really well. Take it, and then on your next call, experiment with it. The worst somebody's going to tell you in a sales call or in any endeavor that you're on is No, they're going to be like, oh, we can't do this and we can't do this or we won't do this. And that's why like getting a no response is almost the best response ever, because you still have the opportunity to sell them. You still have the opportunity to close that deal. You still have the opportunity to show that whatever you're selling, whatever your product is, whatever your insight you have is worth their time. It's just they have not yet come to the conclusion of this. I was listening to a story the other day of one of my colleagues where he was telling me this exact same thing. He was like, he went to for his very first job, he went to the grocery store once a week, every week for 6 months prior to ever getting a job. But he was consistent. He was following up. He was persistent to ensure that he was able to urge himself into the right direction to finally get work. Most people, they would give up after the first try. Most people, when they don't get a response, it's like, okay, this person's not interested. And I was talking about this on Instagram a little while ago as well, is like when it comes to dating and when it comes to relationships, it's like a lot of men, once the girl that they like doesn't respond back, they're like, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm just going to leave you to your own devices. And it's like, nah, that's not what you need to do. You need to have an urge to want to push yourself beyond those normal limits of what everybody else is doing, because most people, they give up way too early. I've found out that over the years, like I almost gave up on this channel. I know the last video that I was talking about, it was like, yeah, we might not be doing this. I am just focusing mainly on 2 animes right now. There's going to be a third one coming down the pipeline as well. So look forward to that. You can subscribe, push the notification bell so you're never missing out on that new anime series that I have weekly reviews on. And it's just going to be an older anime that I don't think a lot of people are talking about right now. So that should be very exciting for you guys to see. And I'll give obviously my life lessons and practical skills that you can apply to your real life in that as well. I think the biggest thing that any of us need to do is find something that urges us on. Find something that encourages us to want to be better. And I'm here to hopefully provide that insight, because I don't necessarily want you guys watching my videos. Like, yes, it's nice and cool, but my main goal is I want you to get away from watching my videos, away from watching anime, at least all the time. Like, I still watch it. Obviously, it's going to be 3 times a week. That's all I really do. Like, I'm not binging full series. I'm not associating my entire existence upon anime. Like, yes, it's good, but I think you need to have other skills and other hobbies and other traits outside of it if you really want to see true growth and potential in your life. I found this out over the years, is like, I have to do what is best for me, and what is best for me might not be best for others. But as long as I'm making myself happy and I'm following my urges and I'm listening to my intuition, at the end of the day, everything's going to work out. Subscribe.